please remain standing and join in singing our national anthem. And then please remain standing for the invocation. And now, gentlemen, please join me in removing our caps and hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you, everyone.
Please join me as we pray. Almighty God, creator of life and source of all truth, receive our thanks for bringing us to this moment of convergence and divergence, this time of ending and beginning, this juncture of closing and opening. Grant us, we pray, your comfort during such bittersweet transitions. May sorrow over our seeming loss be soothed by profound appreciation for our substantial gain, having spent these years imbibing so freely at William Peace University's fountain of friendship and scholarship. Indeed, our God, keenly do we perceive this alma mater not as just another institution of higher education, but as an exceptional mission post that nurtures integrity, that sends its students into all the world to build community, having found it here, and to exercise the distinctive gifts these students have discovered within themselves while here. Oh God, may our fear of change and of a future barely visible now be balanced by an openness to accept new challenges and to toil toward even greater milestones ahead. Here at this life juncture, grant us confidence and grace, wisdom and courage in the choices and decisions we make. Oh God, we give you thanks for the life of this lighthouse that has beamed its beacon of learning for over a century and a half, for the students so divergent in background, who have grown in body, mind, and spirit during their years here. Here they have found a faculty not content simply to teach, but to inspire. A staff, administration, and a board of trustees that put students first, and classes of energetic alumni who pour their time, their talents, and their treasures into a place they will always love. Most especially, our Father, do we give glad thanks this graduation day for all the families who have supported these graduates to be, their parents, their grandparents, their sisters, their brothers, and so many, many others who have been their cheerleaders throughout the college years. Bless the homes from which they've come and all who love them, for we are many, and who now rejoice with them on the morning of this crowning achievement. Together, we raise our prayer in the name of the one whose amazing grace redeems us, whose providential grace sees us through many dangers, toils, and snares, whose steadfast love guides us forward, and whose goodness and mercy follow us all the days of our lives. Amen. And please be seated.
Good morning, Board of Trustees, honored guests, faculty and staff, parents, families, and friends, and of course, the class of 2018. I am Brian Ralph, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president of William Peace University, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you and celebrate this day with you. Today is dedicated to you, the class of 2018. The paths that you have walked have been unique to each of you. It has been a delight to get to know many of you, and I'm so very proud of you. Many of you have distinguished records in academics, athletics, the arts, and service during your times at Peace. And some of you have, shall we say, distinguished records of a different sort that will provide for some good laughs at a future alumni event. Whether you pursued a double major, moved here from another part of the world, or completed your degree program while juggling family and job responsibilities, your accomplishment is impressive, and all of you are to be congratulated. It is also important to note that you did not get here on your own. So today we congratulate the families and friends who have shown their support along the way. May I ask that all of the family members of the class of 2018 please rise so that we may recognize you. I would now like to introduce Ms. Megan Hoffner, a university trustee, president of the Alumni Association and class of 2011, to say a few words. Megan?
Thank you, Dr. Ralph, and good morning, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2018. It's an honor to share this special moment with you. Don't worry, graduates, I know that you have fountain pictures to take, so I will keep it snappy. On behalf of William Peace University, the Alumni Association, welcome to a very proud, unique, and global alumni family. Your alma mater is a university whose graduates have truly left their mark around the world. As an alumna, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, fellow PACER, I want to share with you some duties that come with this academic achievement. The responsibility all of our graduates have in protecting the value and building the legacy of the William Peace University degree. As a graduate, you represent some of the finest parts about our university: your past accomplishments, your future achievements, your integrity that you display in your life, and the standards you hold for yourself and others will reflect upon the intrinsic values of William Peace University. Consequently, It's the meaningful endeavors of graduates like you who will shape much of what our communities, nation, and world will know about peace. Remain steadfast in your efforts and use each step beyond this platform as an opportunity to make a positive impact on the world. Assuming that you are like many of us alumni who wore all different types of hats as students, I'm sure you have more name tags than can fit on a mini fridge. You are likely all overachievers, and throughout your last 4 years, you have stretched yourself so thin that you can stand in front of the fountain and see right through your weary shape all the way to the doors of Maine. Soon, after you turn your tassel 1/4 to the left and stand in the fountain's bubbly and rose-filled waters, you'll drop your previous titles and be entrusted with a new position, the role of alumnus. I'm going to share with you a few examples of what this new title could likely entail. This new role, you could be called upon to conduct mock interviews, host internships at your place of work, help a current student get valuable practical work experience in their field of study, or you may receive an appeal to serve as an ambassador for the university, where you'll be asked to support your institution by giving back your time, talent, and treasure through the University Office of Advancement. Or you may also get a call someday, like I did, from the WPU Alumni Association and be asked to sit on the board of directors. I do implore each of you that if you are asked to serve, please consider it. I am almost certain that somehow I've received more blessings from Peace as a graduate than I did as a student. So in true Peace fashion, of never having to blindly find your way, I'm going to extend some guidance for your next steps as a WPU graduate. I'm going to ask you to complete the following 3 tasks within the next 3 months. First, continue to show your Pacer pride. Hang your shiny new diploma on the walls of your home, your office, or another highly visible area. You can't miss our alumni with WPU car decals, as well as proudly wearing our class ring in celebration of being a Peace graduate. Now, I charge you with wearing your Peace gear when you're out and about at a festival, the North Carolina State Fair, when you come back to attend an athletic event. Do so and let your family, coworkers, and the general public know how you left your legacy on the bricks of peace. Second, grow the WPU family and help continue our cozy campus atmosphere. I ask that you assist Peace in maintaining her reputation for academic excellence. Fill her halls with creative student body who are known as talented and motivated and diverse. When you invite someone to further their education at Peace, you also invite them to share in our traditions, showing off your achievements at Student Showcase, dancing the night away at Red Rose Ball, and slipping on these beautiful red bricks when you're scurrying to the dining hall in the rain. You, better than anyone, understands what it takes to succeed here, so invite a new student to share in your experience at our alma mater. Third, pay it forward with a gift to the university. This is one mission I truly believe in. If it weren't for alumni donations and gifts to the school, attending the small private college that I love would have never been a possibility for this small-town Lumbee girl from McGee's Crossroads, North Carolina. I want to extend a huge thanks to those who have already given to the Loyalty Fund, and I ask that when you make your contributions now and in the future, support the areas that mean the most to you, whether it's $10 or $10 million or somewhere in between. Do so in honor of a faculty member who inspired you, your parents, your mentors, or other people who have supported you along the way. Perhaps give a gift out of your commitment to see this institution succeed for another 161 years. Also, if you're currently ready to give closer to the $10 million range, please see Dr. Ralph or myself directly following the ceremony. But in all seriousness, you don't have to be wealthy to give back to Peace a portion of what it's given to you. No matter the amount or the intention of the donation, your financial gift will support the future of Peace so it can continue to thrive and remain the place that we all call home. Class of 2018, congratulations again on your graduation and welcome to the alumni family. So now, for one of my more favorite parts of the morning ceremony, one of the many traditions we here have at William Peace University is choosing the student commencement speaker. Our graduates in the traditional undergraduate program were given the opportunity to both nominate and vote on an individual whom they feel has made a great impact to their university community through academic and co-curricular pursuits while living the mission, vision, and values of this institution in their daily actions. This year's selected student commencement speaker is Amira Khattab. Amira has been a pivotal member of the WPU campus as a 2018 Student Government Association president of the WPU class of 2018 from 2014 to 2016, orientation leader, chemistry teaching assistant, biology tutor, as well as being inducted into multiple honors programs and societies. Amira has been a member of the WPU women's tennis and cross-country teams and was selected to the academic all-conference and sportsmanship all-conference teams. An honors student at WPU, Amira plans to attend medical school upon graduation. Please join me in welcoming today's student commencement speaker, Amira Khattab. Congratulations.
Greetings, faculty, staff, overjoyed parents and grandparents, relatives, friends, honored guests, eager Traditional Day students, and School of Professional Studies students. I want to take a moment to thank you, my peers, for giving me the honor of delivering this year's student commencement speech. I'm honored because I get to share my thoughts with people who are united by a common goal: to have a better life. The passion and perseverance that has brought us here will benefit us and those that follow in our footsteps. How do I know this? Because I am the child of a woman who never stopped fighting for a better life, for herself and for her children. Practiced so many times without getting emotional. My mother came to America at a young age. When she arrived, she only spoke Arabic and French, which made things very hard, seeing as how only 1% of the American population speaks either of those languages. But that didn't stop her, no. She quickly adapted and took on the new language. Every time she was faced with a problem, she took it as a challenge. Every day, she looked adversity in the face with a smile. This beautiful and strong woman here today is the reason I am who I am. She's the reason I never stop achieving more. Today, we are here because we are ready to do that for our children and for those that come after us. We are here to show them that despite your hardships, you can find a way to flourish. All you have to do is keep working towards a better life. That is what I have decided to talk about with you all today. There are many people out there that dream about achieving a better life, but never do. I'm here to tell you why they never succeed. Yes, dreams are great, and they make us feel good and hopeful, but they will not get you anywhere unless you start taking steps to make your dreams a reality. Vincent van Gogh once said, "First I dream my painting, then I paint my dream." Van Gogh didn't bask in the remembrance of his dream. He didn't wish it into existence. He willed it into existence. This is what we as graduates must do. We must make the intangible tangible. We must make the unknown known. The ideas, passions, and dreams that we have in our minds are wasted if we do not do all that is possible to make them a reality. Don't fantasize about your dream job. Get a job and start working towards it. Don't picture your big break on stage. Hone your craft and showcase your talents. Don't think about graduate school. Study for the GRE, crush it, and apply. If you're a graduate of the School of Professional Studies, you may already have a job. With your new degree, find the next opportunity to advance in your career and go for it. Don't dream of traveling the world. Sell your things and buy a plane ticket. If you don't, you will spend the twilight of your life saying to yourself one of life's most dreaded phrases: what if? If we don't stop dreaming and start doing, our land of opportunity is in danger of becoming a land of missed opportunities. As I look at all of you, I'm so grateful for taking the opportunity to attend Peace. The past 4 years for me seemed like a roller coaster of emotions at times. But one thing is certain, and that is that going to college at Peace and being able to call all of you my classmates has been an amazing experience. Whether it's fall cocktail, red rose ball, or late night breakfast, we always knew how to have a good time. I know I speak for a lot of our class when I say that Gangnam Style will be forever embedded in our brains. I could go on for hours, but we have the rest of our lives to share our memories with each other. Class of 2018, Peace is not only our alma mater, but it is also our home. I would like to conclude by thanking everyone who made it possible for us graduates to be here today. The dedicated professors who took the time to educate us, the registrar's office who made it possible for us to graduate on time, the supportive family and friends who told us not to give up when times were tough, the spouses and children who supported your decision to go back to college, and most importantly, your parents, for bringing your beautiful minds into this world. And once again, as Grandmaster Yoda once said, do or do not, there is no try. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Good morning. What a beautiful day this is. There's the script here, sabotage. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Dr. Charles Duncan. I should have been able to read that without a script. And it's my honor to open the awards, the special awards and recognitions portions of our program. I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs, and I have the best job in the world because I get to work with you all, the great students of William Peace University, the faculty of William Peace University, and the staff, all of whom are here to help you. So, the best part of my job is I get to hand out awards. The first one is for the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award, which is given each year to a faculty advisor who demonstrates excellence in academic advising, supportive advising, program goals, and commitment to the improvement of advising effectiveness. Faculty advisees are nominated for this award by their advisees and by faculty and staff. Each year, our students are surveyed about their experiences with advising. As part of the survey, students may choose to nominate their advisor for this award and share thoughts on why their advisor is deserving. This year, 167 of you students nominated your faculty advisor, which is, I think, an all-time record. Students wrote persuasively and eloquently about the impact that the advising relationship had on them. There were so many strong and heartfelt responses that it was too difficult to narrow down this year's recipient to one person, so the committee selected 2 advisors for the Outstanding Faculty Advisor Award. And before I tell you who those 2 people are, let me just say this, 2 things. One is, even though we're going to recognize 2 people, it's really about all the advisors. So I wonder if you'd give the faculty and the professional staff who advise you a hand. They do a great job. And it's not just faculty, there are staff who are advising you as well. All right, so one of this year's recipients was described, and these are quotes, as someone who always takes the extra step to get to know her students, which in turn allows the student to obtain a greater relationship with someone who can positively benefit their college experience. This advisor is also described as very supportive, knowledgeable, and friendly, amazing, and cares deeply about all of our students, and an excellent person and mentor. I am pleased to present our first award to my fellow Jack White fan, Mrs. Robin Vincent. Our next recipient of this year's Advising Award was also praised highly by his advisees, one of whom said, "He has helped me transition from a student to a future leader. Not only has he cared about my academics, but also my well-being." Another student said, "He's always there for me. He helps make sure my needs are met, from registering for courses to prepping for grad school. I feel comfortable talking to him and can meet with him anytime. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Mark Cushman." right, our next award, the McCormick Distinguished Teaching Award, recognizes a member of the William Peace faculty who has demonstrated a sustained contribution to the university and its students. Faculty must have served 3 or more years of full-time teaching to be eligible for this award. Nominations, again, are made by students, faculty, and staff. The award was established in 1989 by Dr. and Mrs. Fred C. McCormick. Dr. McCormick served as a member of the Peace Board of Visitors, and he and Mrs. McCormick were parents to Peace alum Rebecca McCormick Disaway, class of 1980. Mrs. Disaway has also served as a member of the Board of Visitors and the Alumni Association. This year's recipient, according to nomination, goes well beyond the expectation for a professor and a mentor. Students report that she always has positive energy in class that encourages all students to get involved in learning. Said one student, "She makes learning the Constitution as easy as learning my ABCs." Well, that just totally gives it away, right? Yeah. Another student claimed that this faculty member's teaching makes her question her beliefs and inspires her to be a better version of herself. Many nominators reported how clear it is that this faculty member is passionate for and cares deeply about all of our students. This member's contributions go far beyond the classroom. This year, she has also served in a leadership role of the faculty's Teaching and Learning Committee. Our winner truly exemplifies the type of teaching we value here at Peace. I am pleased to announce this year's McCormick Distinguished Teaching Award goes to Assistant Professor of Political Science, Dr. Beth Cusco. And I tell you, this is a great job. I think there's money involved in those awards. So, all right, now I get to turn to student awards, which is also an exciting and fun part of my job. So, we'll now recognize the student, not the one student, the students who will receive the Catherine Bryan Sloan Graham Academic Achievement Award, which is presented to the graduating senior whose academic record places him or her at the top of his or her class, and who, in the opinion of the faculty and the administration, exemplifies commendable traits of citizenship, cooperation, and concern for others. This award is given in memory of Catherine Bryan Sloan Graham, the first student to matriculate at Peace in 1872. Right, all right. Since 2015, we also recognize this award as the valedictorian of the graduating class. This year, we have 3 students tied for this honor. They have achieved the highest academic average while earning at least 90 credits at William Peace. Our first winner is described by his advisor as an amazing student with a great work ethic. He works harder than any student I've ever had, has a consistently positive attitude, and demonstrates great leadership in the classroom. Our second winner's first-year seminar professor says proudly of him that he is a uniquely well-rounded student and that there are few students who could excel in both the humanities and the sciences as he did. A psychology faculty said of the third winner, she is committed to excellence in all areas of her life and has always engaged in the learning process. Would the following students please come forward to be honored as the Catherine Bryan Sloan Graham Academic Achievement Award winners and class of 2018 valedictorians. Jonas Menanteris? Close? Yeah? Patrick Ralph and Carson Williams.
Congratulations again to our valedictorians. Good morning. I am Frank Rizzo, Vice President for Student Life. At the end of each academic year, the Outstanding Graduate Award is presented to the Peace graduate who is the outstanding member of the graduating class in their academic, social, and religious leadership, in acceptance of obligations, and in general interpretation of the ideals of William Peace University. Faculty and staff are asked to submit nominations, and the top nominees are then put up for a final vote. Nominees must have at least a 3.3 cumulative GPA and have completed 60 hours at William Peace University. This year's outstanding graduate is highly regarded both by the faculty and staff at WPU. He has seen success both in the classroom and on the field, playing on the men's soccer team all 4 years. During that time, he was named team captain, received the Coaches Award, made academic all-conference every season, and was the soccer team's first academic all-district athlete. As a psychology major with a minor in political science, he has excelled in the classroom, graduating summa cum laude. He was named Most Outstanding Psychology Student this year by the faculty and is a member of Psi Chi, the National Psychology Honor Society. He has conducted research with faculty in both psychology and political science, having the opportunity to present his findings at the National Conference for Undergraduate Research. Additionally, he was the recipient of the Phoenix Family Endowment Fund Award for completing exemplary work during his internship. His nominator said, "He is a bright and dedicated student who puts academics first, but is able to balance a rich co-curricular life. He is well respected by his peers because he is genuinely a nice guy. He is a person of character who treats everyone with respect and thoughtfulness, no matter who they are." Our winner exemplifies what a William Peace University graduate should be and is entirely deserving of this award. This year's Outstanding Graduate Award goes to Ryan Appleyard. Ryan, please come forward.
Good morning. I am Dr. Lori McLaren, Executive Director of the School of Professional Studies, and it is my honor to present the School of Professional Studies Outstanding Graduate Award. Eligible students for this award are asked to submit a personal statement and have a faculty or staff member submit a recommendation on his or her behalf. The winner is then selected by a committee. The recipient of the award for this year elicited the following words of support. "I had the pleasure of teaching this student in 3 different courses, and he was an excellent student. He was an articulate and active participant in all courses. He not only asked and proposed questions to his instructors and other students, but he demonstrated a sound understanding of the content, and he also pushed our learning to the next level. He is a conscientious and hardworking individual who receives stellar grades while raising a family and working full-time. These attributes of hard work, leadership, and dedication are exactly what William Peace University tries to instill in all of its students." This year's School of Professional Studies Outstanding Graduate Award goes to Steve Glinka, the first graduate from the School of Professional Studies to earn all 120 credit hours at William Peace. Steve, please come to the stage.
Today, we recognize Cadet Sun Chanbin Jo as he will become a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. He has the distinct honor of receiving this commission in front of his family, friends, peers, and mentors who have supported him on this incredible journey. Cadet Joe is a cadet at the North Carolina State Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps, has completed the program, and will receive his ranks to become a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Cadet Joe is graduating from William Peace University with a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice. Please note that in addition to this ceremony here at WPU, Cadet Joe will be officially commissioned on May 10th, 2018, with the rest of his cadet class at NC State. Would Captain Nathaniel Farrington please come forward to administer the oath of office?
Real quick, during the ceremony, the first thing that's going to happen is Cadet Joe will take the oath of office, which must be administered by a commissioned officer. Please pay close attention to the words in the oath. It's essentially the same oath that every officer in the United States military has taken since our country basically became a country over 240 years ago. All officers share a common bond. We've all sworn allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, not to an individual such as the president or a general or a political party, but to the Constitution and to the principles that it espouses. The oath, along with the bond and commitment that it embodies, will forever connect this Patriot Airman with American heroes past, present, and future. Upon taking the oath, the newly commissioned officer will be awarded a certificate of commissioning by which the President of the United States himself appoints him a second lieutenant, indicating a special trust and confidence in his patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities. Following the commissioning, you'll also notice two small ceremonies. First, family members of our newly commissioned lieutenant will join him on stage to pin on his lieutenant bars. The second ceremony is a time-honored tradition of the first salute. History teaches us that the tradition began in colonial America, as enlisted soldiers assigned to train each newly commissioned officer taught them the unit's history and traditions, and to ensure that the new officer's equipment and expertise met appropriate standards. The ceremonial first salute is an expression of respect from one professional to another, and the new officer returns the salute as a thank you for acts both done and yet to come. Our new second lieutenant has selected someone for this ceremony who has helped him in a similar fashion along the way. So without further ado, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Sun Chanbin Jo,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office in which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. David Jo, Mr. Joshua Jo, and Ms. Kyung Ko, please join Lieutenant Jo on stage to pin on his rank. And while they come up, I'll just say that Cadet Jo is graduating with a degree in criminal justice, and he will report to MacDill Air Force Base, Florida in June to begin work as a contracting officer. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Lieutenant Sunban Joe.
Congratulations, Second Lieutenant Joe. Jamie Valvano has lived an exciting life, despite encountering extraordinary challenges. A cancer survivor and mother of two, Jamie has stood tall and faced her obstacles head-on with optimism and a positive disposition. She now works tirelessly to share her encouraging message with others who also may be fighting battles of their own. Jamie is the daughter of the late legendary coach, Jim Valvano. His journey took a sharp turn from celebration when her father's NC State basketball team won the 1983 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship to devastation when he was later diagnosed with terminal cancer. Jamie was an audience member when her father gave his famous 1993 ESPY speech. It was inspired by his plea to the nation to help fund quality cancer research. Upon graduating from North Carolina State University, Jamie carried on her father's legacy and began working for the Cancer Research Foundation, founded in his honor, the V Foundation. She worked for the V Foundation in its formative years, helping it to establish a world-renowned organization that has since awarded more than $200 million to cancer facilities across the United States. In 2005, adversity would again befall Jamie as she herself was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 33. Due to groundbreaking cancer research, like the research funded by the V Foundation, doctors were able to find an inherited genetic mutation and created a course of treatment for Jamie that would greatly increase her odds of survival. 13 years after her diagnosis, Jamie is still dedicated to funding cancer research with a newfound appreciation and zeal for life. She works tirelessly to share her journey as a cancer survivor and advocate, spreading her father's message to laugh, to think, to cry every day. Please join me extending a warm William Peace University welcome to our commencement speaker today, Ms. Jamie Valvano.
Wow, I was only given one tissue. That was not enough. What an amazing morning this has been. And I am so honored and want to thank Dr. Ralph and the university trustees and faculty for allowing me to share this wonderful event and day with all of you. When it became public that I was going to serve as the commencement speaker, I had people come just out of the woodwork to share their stories about the university, whether they had graduated or had a family member that attended. And there was such a welcoming warmth that came through from each and every individual. Then I had the honor of coming to the campus and touring it. And upon parking and then trying to find my way to Dr. Ralph's office, I became a little bit confused and turned around. And so I approached two young girls that were sitting, talking outside, and asked if they would give me directions, and I immediately saw that they were on their phones, and I apologized and kind of walked away, and I heard, "Hold on, Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back." And the young woman kind of ran after me, and she said, "Oh, I just found out that I got a raise in the job that I have for this summer, and I was just sharing it with my mom, but I can take you where you need to go, and don't worry about it." And we chatted, and by the end of our time together, I don't know if she's even here, but I felt like we were friends. There was also something called Waterpalooza going on, and that was interesting. Nobody had warned me of this, and so as I met faculty and staff and students, a lot of people were armed with these huge water guns and in bathing suits and laughing and having fun. And I just felt like I was part of this community, that I was welcomed by students and staff and everybody that I've met. So I'm Italian, so we embrace, we hug. So if you see me afterwards, I certainly would appreciate one. And now that I'm here, you're not getting rid of me. I spend my days as a middle school teacher teaching 11 and 12-year-olds, so I am completely unaccustomed to people actually looking at me when I'm talking in front of a group, because my students are on a device using fidget spinners, or there's this new thing with slime. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they love to just have the slime everywhere, all over. So most of the time I have to say, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me, and wave and get their attention. So this is a treat to actually have people that are with me as I'm talking. And as I've heard the speeches, I kind of am picking up where your commencement speaker left off as she spoke about dreaming, and she talked about not just thinking about it, but actually doing it. And I'm here to talk to you about what happens when you hit a bump in the road or an obstacle, something that you did not imagine was going to happen. I'm here to talk to you about what happens in your life when you refuse to give up. As Dr. Ralph mentioned, my dad was a basketball coach. I was raised in New York in my early formative years, and I can remember being a part of a big Italian family where all of the women would be in the kitchen making pasta dish after pasta dish, and the cousins would be running around. And this was before big screen TVs, so all of my dad and his family would be kind of huddled around a small television that had kind of the bunny ears, antennas, and they would always be screaming and shouting about something that had something to do with a ball and a basket or a field goal, any sport that they would watch, and they were passionate about sports. And I have to admit, I had no idea what was going on. I was a girly girl. I loved to play Barbies and ride my pink bicycle with my little pigtails, and I had no idea what all of the hubbub was about. But my grandfather, Rocco Valvano, was a referee and a coach in Long Island, and both of my dad's brothers were coaches at one time or another. One of my favorite stories about my dad is when he was just a little bit younger than all of you. He was 17 years old. He took out a simple note card, and he wrote down what he wanted to accomplish in his life. And he wanted to play basketball in high school, go on to play basketball in college. He wanted to cut down the nets after winning a national championship as a coach. And he wrote those things down, folded it up, and kept that in his wallet to serve as a reminder each and every day of what he wanted to do in his life. And he didn't just hope and pray and wish these things would happen, but he lived with passion, with exuberance. He worked hard, and he assembled a team, no matter where he went, to work with him and believe in themselves. Fast forward 1980, my family moved to Cary, North Carolina, as my dad accepted the coaching job at North Carolina State University. We had no idea what was about to happen. We had never really even heard of ACC basketball. And it's a little crazy here, guys. We met people who had signs on outsides of their houses, house divided, and I thought, oh, what a shame. I had no idea what they were divided over. And one was a Carolina fan, one was a State fan, Duke, Virginia, whatever, and bumper stickers, and people, right away they'd meet me and they would just assume that I was all into basketball and I knew what was happening, and I had no idea what my dad really did for a living. But that was really what was going to shape the next 10 years of my life, was going to school, and if we'd had a loss or if we'd won, sometimes they'd write things on my locker or toilet paper in my car. It was intense. It was really intense. But that became our family when we were raised, and we would go to every basketball game. And I remember just watching my dad just motivate his players. In 1983, he decided he was going to win a national championship. And we certainly were the underdog that year. There was nobody that was picking us to be number one. And so he thought to himself, how can I make my players believe that they are champions? What do I need to do? And so he decided that at the end of every practice, he would roll out a ladder and he would take out some special scissors, and he would ask the first player to kind of climb up, cut down a piece of the net, climb back down, and the next player would do so, and over until it was his time to climb up and cut down the last piece of net, and he would wave it victoriously over his head as if they had just won. And the players, I'm sure, looked at him like, the coach has lost his mind. A campus police is going to come get us. We're destroying property here. What is happening? And over the course of weeks and months of doing this, they started to believe. They started to high five and hold each other on shoulders and pick my dad up and he would wave and they would close their eyes and imagine what it would feel like when somebody was chanting their name and they were holding up the signs and number one. And they started to believe that they were champions. If any of you have checked out on kind of old ESPN games, they'll sometimes play the '83 championship, and I always tune in and I get really nervous because I think we're not going to win, because it is a buzzer beater shot that happens at the last second. There's a dunk, and we were actually out in the hallway, my mom and my sisters and I, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because if any of you play sports, usually you know a little bit about superstition. And that year, we had a lot of nail biters, and my mom couldn't take it, so she would take my sister and I out in the hallway, and we would basically just wait it out to see what would happen, and we started winning, and my dad said, all right, you got to keep doing it. I mean, he would wear the same tie, the same socks, the same underwear. I mean, he was superstitious if he was on a winning streak. So he said, you guys got to go out there. So here we are out in the hallway. We have no idea who has won, and I love watching the video now, if you've not seen it, of my dad just running like a madman after they won the national championship, looking for somebody to hug. You see, he had hugged the same player the whole season, and they had made a tradition of it. And for the first time ever that season, after winning the national championship, he ran out on the court to hug that player, and that player was hugging someone else. And he thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be on television, and I'm standing here center court by myself. So he ran around frantically looking for somebody to hug, jumped on a pile. And I remember the vision of him meeting his dad, Rocco, at center court and hugging him. And he could take out that note card and he could check off each and every one of those dreams that he had for himself at the age of 36, which I know might sound old to you guys, but it's not. He had accomplished the impossible, and he had made his players, he had motivated them to believe that they were champions. It was such an exciting time in our life to see my dad soar. He was my Superman and my hero. And so it was devastating when a man in a white lab coat walked into a hospital room and told my hero that he had, yes, less than a year to live. He was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I remember I had just finished my freshman year at NC State University, and I took off school and I decided I was going to travel with my dad, as he was a sports commentator for ESPN and ABC. And I thought, for the first time, maybe he'll just become quiet and stay home and be surrounded by loved ones during this difficult time. But I severely underestimated my dad, because as his body began to weaken, his spirit began to take flight. He took out that note card and he wrote down one final dream: find a cure for cancer. And he spent the last 10 months of his life using his voice and his passion and talking to anyone that would listen about what it feels like to face a terminal illness or a disease or an obstacle that you feel like that you can't overcome. And I just watched him motivate and put a plan in motion and select a team of people, individuals that had supported him throughout the years, to come together and say, will you be on my team? Will you help me in this final dream? ESPN decided they were going to have an inaugural ESPYs, which is kind of like the Academy Awards of sports. If you watch it now, it's grown into something magical. And they wanted to bestow an honor on my dad, the first ever Arthur Ashe Courage Award. And my dad was very sick. And my family thought, well, gosh, there's no way he's going to be able to go to the award show. Maybe they'll just accept it on his behalf. But somehow we made it to New York. And then we thought, well, he's certainly not going to be able to get up on stage. He's too weak. And so maybe he'll just sit and they'll put the camera on him and they'll say a quick thank you. But once again, I underestimated him. And he got up on stage and he gave the speech that he was born to give, as he poured out his heart and his soul, and he allowed people to see the pain that he was going through and the vulnerability, and he asked and implored others to join his team, because as a coach, he knew that we need that team of supporters. We need other individuals to believe in us in order for us to accomplish the impossible. And he spoke the words, "We're starting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love." And he finally said to the audience, no matter what you face in life, don't give up. Don't ever give up. And he was helped down from the podium, and he sat down next to me, and he leaned over and he whispered, "Did I do okay?" Did you do okay? Where did that come from? I looked at him and thought, that was amazing. And not a week goes by in my own life that somebody doesn't come up to me and tell me where they were when the final shot dropped in 1983 and what that meant to them as a fan in this area. Or they tell me about a family or a loved one who is struggling with a cancer or another disease, and just his words, "Don't give up, don't ever give up," how they have given that family hope. And so I learned from my dad that when we use our voice, when we share our passion, when we ask others to join our team to help us accomplish the impossible, that's when we are at our most powerful. That is when miracles happen. And today I have over 200 million reasons to believe in a world without cancer as the V Foundation continues my dad's legacy and funds quality research across the country. I never knew how important my dad's words would be to me. I thought that the worst thing that would ever happen to me would be losing my parent. As you guys get older, you have different relationships with your parents, and they seem to get smarter as we get older. We think when we're teenagers and youngsters, they don't know anything, and then as we get older, we look at them as adults and really start to value that relationship. And so just as I was starting to get that relationship with my dad, I had to say goodbye. But he left me a final gift. You see, at the age of 33, a doctor told me that I had inherited a gene and diagnosed me with breast cancer. I had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I just wanted to be a mom. And now all of a sudden, I had to go through a rigorous course of treatment and battle for my life. And I wish I could tell you that I was just like my dad, that they would make a Lifetime movie about me, but it's not going to happen because basically I gave up. I remember going through chemotherapy and losing my hair and having surgery and losing my youth and my health and my hope. And I was sitting at my kitchen table, and my mom was washing dishes, I always remember, and I finally just decided at that point I was going to give up. And I'm done. I'm not going to do any more. And it was as if my dad was sitting at the table with me. I heard his words. "We're starting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love." It was my aha moment when I realized that that was my dad's final gift to me, was that he started the V Foundation so that I could have hope, so that I would know that I wasn't alone. Always the coach, he started to motivate me. And it was at that moment that a seed was planted, and I thought to myself, what would it look like if I became a survivor? What would be my ultimate championship? I can't even dribble a basketball, so I don't think it's going to have anything to do with sports. So I didn't imagine myself cutting down the nets, but I thought to myself as I closed my eyes, I think it would be standing before a group of people, using my voice, and letting them know what happens in life when we refuse to give up. That's going to be my victory. I didn't know 12 years ago when that would happen, but it's today. Because you see, this is my moment that I had always imagined, standing before a group of people and letting them know that I'm a survivor, that I didn't give up, and that miracles happen when we look at the obstacles and the situations that we find ourselves in. We ask people for help when we need support and love, and we use our voice to motivate other people. We don't allow our circumstances to dictate who we are. You see, right now you're on top of the world. You're on that mountaintop. You're cutting down that net and you're feeling like you're unstoppable. And as so many people have said, you haven't gotten here alone, but you've had a group of people that love and support you that have gotten you here. But it's easy in those moments to say, I am unbeatable, I am a champion, I am awesome. And I want you to feel that way. But also there will be times in your life where you will face an obstacle, a dark moment, when you will think, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I'm going to give up. I just don't know that I'm going to be able to stand again. And I don't want you to believe those lies. I don't want you to think that those are your only two options, because you see, I've been in both places. And what I've learned is that it is the people that we surround ourselves that love and support us through all those things. And it is the refusal to give up, to give in, to stop fighting, and to believe that miracles happen, that they're just around the corner, that will get you through those difficult times. Not many people know that my dad was an English major. They just thought that he was a basketball coach. But he used to love literature and poetry, and he would spend the time when he wasn't recruiting or coaching reading all of the plays of Shakespeare. He would quote E.E. Cummings and Frost and Dickinson growing up, and we would just roll our eyes. We were like, oh gosh, what is Dad talking about again? Like, we have no idea. But he would always be quoting some passage. And I'm paraphrasing, but one of his favorite quotes was from Albert Schweitzer. And he said that in all of us, we have this inner light. We have this inner spirit that shines brightly. But at times in our life, it becomes dim or it's extinguished because of difficult situations. And then it is burst again into flame by an encounter with another human being. And we should all be so thankful for those human beings that light our fires. And so the final thing that I want to leave you with tonight or today is, as you leave this place, I absolutely want you to recognize that you have a light inside of you that's shining. I've seen it. But I also want you to know that it's your job and your duty to share that light with others, to be a fire starter, to be the match that ignites the flame in other people if they are beginning to dim. Because your greatness does not get smaller if you share your gifts with other people. In fact, together we can accomplish what we could never do alone. So that's what I want each of you to leave here today and recognize, that you need to let your light shine, to use your voice and your passion to inspire others. And no matter what happens in your life, obstacles, sadness, struggles, darkness, or if you're celebrating like today, something that is so magical in your life, I want you to remember the miracles that can happen when you refuse to give up. Thank you so much for bringing my dream to a reality. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Valvano. You are an outstanding inspiration to our community, and I'm sure that everybody here today is really glad that you didn't give up. Jamie Valvano, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of North Carolina, by the Board of Trustees of William Peace University, I now confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctorate of Humanities with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
Thank you, Ms. Valvano. In a moment, we'll begin the conferring of degrees upon the graduating students of the class of 2018. The act of conferring the degree is symbolic of the admission of each graduate into the company of scholars and an express willingness to be a dedicated person using intellect, heart, and courage to help build a better world. The presentation of the candidates for graduation signifies the student's anticipated successful completion of the university's requirements of a degree. Each candidate for graduation will come forward individually and will be greeted by President Ralph, Dr. Charlie Duncan, Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Ms. Megan Hoffner, President of the Alumni Board. Candidates from the traditional undergraduate program and the School of Professional Studies will be called alphabetically under each respective degree. We ask that you hold your applause until the end of each degree's candidates have crossed the stage. I will now read the names of the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree. Nicole Marie Alba. Lindsay Elisa Alford, magna cum laude. Alexander Clarkson Allred. Rashad Najir Anderson. Adriana Faith Andrews. Ryan Edward Appleyard, summa cum laude. Shamante Danielle Bailey. Andrew Mark Baker. Megan Ashley Barnack. Ross Brian Bahuniak. Madison Paige Bowley. Angel Janelle Brake, magna cum laude. Crystal Patrice Brinkley. Frankie Noel Brown. Brandy Nicole Bunn. Alyssa Kaylee Bordeaux. Adam Crawford Chavis. Deja Sherry Cheatham. Ashley Ann Chubbuck, summa cum laude. Cullen Jeffrey Seacott. Nathan Sledge Clapsaddle. Ronnie Elizabeth Clapsaddle. Cassidy Marie Clark. Chrisana Atia Cohen. Nicholas Brian Cole. Kelly Ann Connolly. Cullen Seth Cranford. Morgan Jolene Crockett. Alexis Nicole Daniels. Casey Lynn Delaney. Christopher Daniel De Leon. Christian King Dix. Jacob Evan Doman. Lucas James Dranzak. Gary Godfrey Dyer. Paris Alexandra Edwards. Olivia Reed Egbert. James Corbett Emery. Hannah Caroline Evans. John William Everett. Keelan John Falk. Davis Grant Feltz. Brandon Royce Fessy. Sean Patrick Fitzgerald, magna cum laude. Sarah Nicole Fleming. Amber Marie Fox. Reese Ferris Gazelle. Zana Keisha Gooden. Chloe Christine Goodwin. Kim Renee Grande, cum laude. Coleman Luis Green. Rayvon Ike Hagans. Ebony Marie Hairston. Tristan G. Hamill. Heba H. Hamadi. Janae Simone Hankins. Connor McCormick Hill. Iris Roberts Hindle. Shannon Williams Hinton. Katie Thomas Hodges. Timothy Lane Holmes. Takala Dawson Hood. Karam Adams Jackson. Rodney Gilbert Jarrett. Sun Chenbin Joy. Joe. Matthew Zachary Johnson. Jacob Morgan Jones. LaQuisha Janice Jones. Ann Taylor Callum. Monique Kibonge Kibonge. Brittany Burke Kraft. Braxton Jean Lamb. Frederick Scott Lewis, cum laude. Shelby Lynn Lombardo, summa cum laude. Evangeline Grace Luback, summa cum laude. Quashima Marietta Lynch. Michael Patrick Marsh. Yandre Mastromohalis. Emily Rem McCreary. Jordan Michelle McDaniel. Caitlin Marty McLam. Heather Amy McLean, cum laude. Jonas Davis Manatras, summa cum laude. Raven Demi Darnasia Moore. Bryn Marie Morgan. Brianna Caitlin Moss. Mallory Brooke Mullins. Bernasia Janice Murphy. LaQuisha Devon Murray. Sean Anthony O'Driscoll. Ashton Ramey Nicole Owens, magna cum laude. Gina Caroline Parker. Julia Wood Pemberton, magna cum laude. Lindsay Marie Perry. Deshauna Latrice Phillips. Laura Nicole Phillips. Amanda Marie Tallman Popson. Bethany Pearl Prentice. Demetrius Devon Pulley. Shakaylin Evett Rhines. Josie Deetta Richardson. Delano Anthony Roberts. Photo Phil Roche. Valerie Marie Shaka, magna cum laude. Catherine Grace Seekins. Lexus Brangaya Shaw. William Alexander Van Shepard. Deja Kiana Monique Sims. Raven Brianna Smalls, magna cum laude. Malik Leanthony Smith. Jace Michael Stevenson. Amelia Rosanna Strickland, cum laude. Andrew L. Suarez. Alexandra Terrell. Stephen Christopher Tannhauser. Ebony B. Thomas. Levi Dalton Thomas. Brigitte Anna Tandor, cum laude. Rebecca Musangi Shibambi. Madison Joan Tucker. Jonathan Edward Upton. Sarah Paige Ehrman. Angelo Valencia. Joshua Michael Villard. Jacob Elias Wade. Lindsay Meredith Walker. Janice Scott Warren. Vanessa Joanne Weaver. Carson Rose Williams, summa cum laude. Najir Saquon Williams. Rakeem Jaquan Williams. Cole Harrison Winnett, magna cum laude. Angel Shanice Wortham. Amy Davidson Wright. Anna Grace Winnicken. Christy Nicole Zothner. Please join me in congratulating the achievements of these outstanding graduates.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Megan Kittle-Autry, Assistant Dean of Academic Affairs, and I will now read the names of the candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. David Calvin Bumgarner II. Hannah Marie Godbold, magna cum laude. Please join me in congratulating the achievements of these two outstanding graduates. I will now read the names of the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degrees. Andrew Aggiato. Kristen Ainsley Aguilar. Ravishing Archibald Ajiman. Stephen Jose Allen. Lindsay Baskerville Alston, magna cum laude. Kevin Ronald Amaya. Michael Caleb Andrews. Amber Marie Arnold. Travis Dean Arthur. Abdel-Jabbar Waleed Asmar. Isaac Jesus Bates. Joshua Bryce Boone. Benjamin Russell Brand. Shadon Ladora Brown, cum laude. Valerie Brown. Nicholas James Robert Buffalo. Autumn Corinne Butler Hicks. Nicole Kristen Chappell. Philip Bradley Duncan. Sarah Caitlin Edmonds, cum laude. Ryan Corey Emfinger. Alec Daniel Entine. Vanessa Estrella. Stephanie Monique Evans. Sean Michael Finneran. Amy Lynn Gaines. Stephen Matthew Glinka, magna cum laude. Randy Dean Granger. Latoya Ann Green, cum laude. Joseph Keenan Greenwood. Daniel Remy Hammond. Jaden Michael Herring. James Cameron High. Trey Henderson Hogan. Ashley Marie Johnson. Rochelle Marantha Johnson, cum laude. Barbara Davis Jones. Nina Vumilia Kebby. Alam Amira Katab, magna cum laude. Caitlin Olivia King. Janae Amber Kinlock. Alyssa Monet Charity Kalanage. Isaac Eugene Kruger. Justin Maxwell Lee. Mary Heather Lee. Michael Thomas Linkus. Margaret Elizabeth Litticy, summa cum laude. Amanda Mercedes Ludlam. Gareth Greg Mahanke, magna cum laude. Marisa Lynn Mansfield. Cassandra Marrero. Timothy Francisco McDaniel. Amy Shannon McHugh. Sean Michael McKee. Debria Drusilla Morton Glenn. Sherade J. Moss. Hannah Elise Monroe, magna cum laude. Jalen Matthew Neal. Nikki Lauren Nodelman. Dora Janine Penny. Cody Ray Piggott. Shamika Danielle Plummer. Cody Lee Poole. Jimena Gisela Portilla. Sarah Ann Portis. Emily Mary Rabjohns, magna cum laude. Patrick Carl Ralph, summa cum laude. DeAndre Juwan Richardson. Mary Frances Morgan Rigsby. Jeffrey David Robinson. Corral Celeste Rodriguez. Bonnie Helen Santos, magna cum laude. Marshall Neal Sherrod. Jesse Hendricks Scheimer. Michael Eugene Spate. Timothy Kyle Stevens. Jacqueline Deneen Sykes. Lori Glenn Tilley. Ryan Richard Von Wern. Savannah Brielle Westbrook. Taju Yadel. Please join me in congratulating the achievements of these outstanding graduates. Congratulations to all of you, class of 2018.
Graduates, today we celebrate your accomplishments. The faculty, staff, and administration are proud to have been part of this process, to see you now, and to celebrate with you. You are soon to be alumni, and we are here to wish you well in the future endeavors. Remember that Peace is a community for your life. Keep in touch with us, tell your faculty and staff and alumni relations what you're up to, and please come back and visit us as often as possible at this beautiful historic campus in downtown Raleigh. And now, the moment that you all have been waiting for. Will the candidates for graduation please rise? By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of North Carolina and by the Board of Trustees of William Peace University, I now confer upon each of you who has successfully completed all requirements for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, or Bachelor of Science as appropriate, with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Please move the tassel on your cap to your left. Congratulations to the class of 2018. Let's give them another round of applause. In just a few moments, these commencement exercises will conclude. After the benediction, it is the tradition of the trustees, administration, faculty, and staff to recess to the balconies of Maine, and for the graduates to recess and to circle the fountain for the singing of our alma mater. You'll find the words printed on the front inside of the commencement program. With the remainder of our guests, please rise if you are able and remain standing at your seats until the platform party and the graduates have recessed and the alma mater has been sung. When the roses are thrown into the fountain, the proceedings will come to a close. I would now like to call upon Dr. R. Lee Carter, our university chaplain, for the benediction.
Please receive this benediction. And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance and give you peace. Amen.
Hello? In the heart of Carolina, neath the skies of blue, stands our noble alma mater, glorious to view. Classic in her broad proportions, look she proudly down,